Hi guys, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 3. And our T-Rex has just gone into the bushes and ruined my opening shot, but hey ho, there we go. So let's have a look what we're doing today. Well, I know what we're doing today. Let me just get into the right position. That's where we finished off last time. We did the stegosaur enclosure there. And then we did the ankylosaur enclosure here with this raised walkway going through the middle of them, which I quite liked. Thought it was really good. Then that brings us back to there are Xenos there. So we've sort of got all the outside done on the map now, so we've just got to start filling in the middle area here. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at 3 different enclosures that I'm interested in getting up together today, and that will be something for the Dilophosaurs, something for the Pachycephalosaurs, and also I want to put the Dimetrodons in. Now I know they're not dinosaurs as such, but they're in the game anyway, so we're going to do it with them. So I'm just thinking about putting the first enclosure in here. I'm just trying to think what we should do in here. Could be Dimetrodons, couldn't it? If I do a curved fence around there, attach it up to that, and then bring it around. So let's have a look what the Dimetrodons actually like. Hang on, let me just get my controls back in again. Preset 3. Right, that's a good spot there. So if we... let's not fence it off yet. I think we'll have a look at what the actual dinosaurs require. Right, where was my nearest hatchery? There we go. So let's have a look at what Dimetrodons require. There they are. Right, so they need a lot of arid, a lot of deep water, not much cover. So that's a bit strange because they say they want no cover, yet when you see them in the film, they live down in the mines where everything's covered. But it don't matter. So let's I think what we do, if we go back, we can start preparing them. So let's modify the genome. Let's get them looking good. So we go for the film version for the female, and then the male, we want them to be a bit more colourful, really, don't we? I quite like that. Yeah, we'll go for that. So if we begin the task, we'll start them breeding up now so we can get 4.
Synthesis for...
So we can have 2 of each. 2 males, 2 females. Start them off, and then we can go and build the enclosure ready for them. That was a bit quick. Right, that was it. We were going to do it here, weren't we? I'm not sure they need a huge great area because Dimetrodons I don't think are very big. So I think what we do, let's get the fences. So what are these ones I got here? They're about the same, aren't they? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down across here. There we go. So that's attached nicely on that. Right, so they like the arid landscape. So let's build it up into a nice arid. So we could use sort of beach for them, couldn't we? Because we're going to give them beach and deep water. Right, let's make that a little bit smaller so we can just cover these edges in. There we go. Right, let's take away the flat terrain and let's make it a little bit more interesting. Don't want it to be too bad that it hinders visibility. Let's drop the bloke down and see. Yeah, so we need a decent viewing platform that we can put in here. So I think I'll make it a raised one. I think we'll put a raised one there. And we'll put one of the smaller ones down, say around here. Yeah, it's a pretty good view up from here. That was not a very good view at all. I think what we need to do is we need to drop these areas down in front. So let's flatten that terrain. I think I'll lower it a little bit first. Because we're going to have the deep water around here anyway, so. Let's have a look now. That is better. So let's get our deep water in here. They like quite a lot of deep water. I don't like the way that's gone, to be quite honest. No, so I think we need to lower terrain on that. Going to drop that down before we put the deep water in. We'll flatten it out a bit more yet anyway. There we go, that's looking quite good and rough, so I quite like that. Let's see what our view's like now. Yeah, that's not bad. So let's put our deep water back in and hopefully it will merge a little bit better with this environment. We could have these cliffs. I think I might leave these cliffs actually. So let's flatten this land around here. Yeah, I quite like that. Now, they don't need much cover, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some trees around. I'll do some sort of cover with them, really. I know they don't require the cover, but it's just to make these cliffs look a little bit... I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more natural, I suppose. So let's jump in and start sticking some rocks in here. What I want is a nice big rock in the middle. There, I think that's... That one should be alright. And then we'll need some rocks sort of sticking out. Right, let's get a few rocks. Actually, no, let's put some small rocks in. These are all big rocks, aren't they? And it's very good. Right. Let's do random rotation, random scale on these. Right, I think we need to have a few plants around as well. Probably only need to be sparse. There we go, just a little bit like that, just to break up the sand. I might put a couple of trees actually on here. Foliage, let's... Let's check those trees because I think they're floating. Yeah, they are. Right, let's try that again. Yeah, I think that's better. Right, and we need a feeder, so let's put their feeder in here. Right, now we need to connect this path up. So we go from the side of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
It's annoying. Right, let's just see if we can flatten that bit of terrain there. There, that should be a bit better.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, you to observe our magnificent animals.
Right, just got to try and remember where I bred the dinos. There we go. Released via airlift.
Asset requiring collection. Picking up asset.
Right. So that should be a good enough enclosure for them, I think. It does sort of look like I would imagine their
Pleased to welcome a
areas to
Dimetrodon
sort of look
the
like, to be
park.
honest. Their environment, rather.
Asset has been collected.
Because we've got to remember, back in these times, there was no grasses. Even though we've got grasses here. But I would imagine it was quite a deserty look to their environment. But we'll see how they like it when they arrive. So let's see how the view is. Yeah, look, that's quite a good view.
We are pleased to welcome a Dimetrodon to the park.
During most of your tour, the appropriate information will be automatically selected and displayed for you. Simply touch the area of the screen displaying the appropriate icon.
See, they're not very big animals. So this should be plenty big enough for them.
When we talk about eye-catching species, the Dimetrodon and its remarkable spine cell is gonna be near the top. Some animals need your attention. This one demands it.
Right, let's go down and have a look and see how he's feeling. Missing arid. Having a laugh, mate. It's 90% arid.
Ladies
Walk around
and
a little bit, you'll be okay.
We are pleased to welcome a Dimetrodon to the park.
Asset has been collected.
Just let them walk around a little while. I wonder if the Dimetrodons actually swim. And that's why they want the deep water.
Asset delivered.
Right, the area's okay for them. Population will be okay because we got the 2 more coming in yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dimetrodon to the park.
Commencing asset transit.
Right, so they can get to that cover. Right, that's the males coming in now, I believe.
During
So yeah, they're happy with the amount of arid. I might have to chuck a couple of trees down here just to raise the cover. Deep water. They're showing 84% on that, but I think that'll go up once they get used to how much they've actually got. So yeah, I like that. So what was that? That was this one the ankylosaurs and nodosaurs? Yeah. Let's see how they... Like there's not enough ground fruit and not enough ground leaf.
Asset transportation complete.
We've got the ankylosaurs in here. Where's the nodosaurs? Is that one there? Sauropelta, there we go. They look happy. Should be heading down for a drink, I think, this one. There we go. Perfect. So, little distraction there. They're having a good wander, so let's see. They're happy. Excellent. Right, so now that we got them happy in their environment, I think we're going to build an enclosure here for the Dilophosaurus, I think. Or shall we do the Pachycephalosaurs here? Let's do the Pachycephalosaurs in this area. So let's see what they need. Right. Homolosophel. Pasture. Water. And ground. Pachycephalosaurs, they like wetland, water and ground. Okay. And where's the Stygimoloch? And they like cover, water and ground leaf. Right, so there's 3 different environments for them really. Right, so if we start off with the Pachycephalosaurs. I quite like that green patterning on them, to be honest. With that little bit of blue. Yeah, I think we'll do that for the females. And the males, I want to go green again. But I want them to have a bit of a brighter look. There we go. So it's only very basic differences between the two, but I quite like that. So let's begin the task on them, so we can get 6.
Synthesis.
So we'll go 3 of each. Right. My job to try and keep up with where I am now. So they're going to have an area here. I'm going to do a medium electric fence for these guys. Don't like that. They're trying to get it to go around in one go. I think that's better. Gonna have quite a few animals in here, so I think we need a fair size environment. Right, that's fairly big. So I think what we do, we'll basically fill this in, this area here, with pathway. As much as we can. There, that's not looking too bad. It's a bit further away. I actually wanted it to go right up under there, so I wonder if I can actually just gravel that bit off. Let's have a look. I think that's better. I've just gone into one of the raptors areas there, haven't I? Yeah, it's the pyroraptors. So that's alright, don't matter. Right, so let's have a look. I need to try and split this down. So I think if we do... Let's do a stream running through. Sort of bloat it out a little bit in the middle there. Right, so they needed a lot of wetland. So let's set some wetland up on one side. So we'll have wetland on this side. Only got that one wetland to paint on really, so let's try doing some wetland with this. So let's do a bit of a cypress swamp. Bring some bog into this. And we'll have some marsh. Right, so environmentally that should be okay. Now they need ground leaf. So let's get some ground leaf in there as well. Try and do that where I've left the green bits. Whoops. Bring that out to break up that bit a little bit. Right, that's not too bad. So I'm purposely trying not to make this one too bumpy in any areas, because I want it to actually look like a bogland where everything's settled down quite flat. So what I'll do is I'll release them in and see how they feel about it. Personally, I think they're going to love it.
Asset to be collected. Asset requiring collection. Asset collection request received.
Right, there we go. So they're doing those, and while that's happening, let's go and have a look at the next one. So let's do the Homolosophile first. Right, so they wanted pasture, ground leaf and ground fibre. Okay. I want these ones to be a little bit colourful, I think. That's quite nice. The males. So we'll do those mangrove forests as well, but let's try and make them look a little bit different. Ah, there we go. So the males are a little bit brighter than the females. I like that. So let's begin the task on them. And we get 6 of those as well. So we'll do the same again. 3 of each.
Stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pachycephalosaurus to the park.
Commencing asset transit.
Just having a look at the amenities that were available everywhere. On that one here, we're fine. There's loads of amenities here. And then down over here, we had a load as well. Just in this space here. We haven't got anything really up in this area, so I'm probably going to have to build an amenity here. I thought I did put something up around here. That goes back to the main entrance. Ah, that's right. I did the little one up here, didn't I? There's hardly anybody going to that one, though. I can't see our dinosaurs. There we go. There we go. Nice little Indoraptor.
Here we have the Pachycephalosaurus, which is the ancient Greek way of saying thick-headed lizard. I've been called that many times myself, but joke's on them. I like this dinosaur so much that I take it as a compliment. Well, I like it from afar, at least. They can get a bit, head-butty for my liking.
There we go. Let's see how they're getting on. The area is about right for them. Plenty of water. They're happy with that.
Assets in the air.
I think they might be happy with what we've done there. Yes, there we go. Nice. So that sort of keeps them to that side.
Asset delivered.
I haven't put any viewing platforms in this area because, to be honest, I don't think we really need them because it's a flat area. Right, so Homolosophile. So they need pasture. So let's change that other side up to pasture.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pachycephalosaurus to the park.
Brushland pasture.
Asset being transported.
I want to keep a little bit of a sort of beachy area going down to the water. Right, that's a basic pasture. So now let's make it a little bit more colourful with a bit of, what's that called? Is that taiga?
Asset has been transported.
Let's go with some ground fibre along here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pachycephalosaurus
Some
to
green
the park.
ground leaf up along here.
Transportation underway.
And let's put a few rocks in, shall we? Why not?
Asset has been delivered.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Pachycephalosaurus to the park.
Asset has been collected.
There we go, that's not too bad. Right, I need some tall trees, I think.
Asset delivered.
Do a little bit of woodland as cover up over here. I think that'd be all right. So we've got one more Pachycephalosaur to come. Where's that other one? Here it comes. So once that's in, I can release the other ones, then we can do the Stiggy Mylox. Actually, we can probably get the Stiggy Mylox going, actually. There we go. Right, so let's have a look at what they need. Oh, they need a bit of cover, so I've put a bit of cover on there. Hopefully that'll be enough, because they only need 15%. Water 10%, that's covered. And ground leaf 75%, so we need a lot of ground leaf. So I might have to sort out a bit of ground leaf. A bit more ground leaf for them. So let's have a... Let's try and get these ones a little bit more colourful than the other two, I think. That's not too bad. Let's make the males quite dark, but with light. Something light on their patterning. Okay, there's not enough options there really for what I actually wanted, but I think we'll go with it. That's 6 eggs again.
Synthesis procedure complete.
Which is good, so 3 of each. Right, so we should be able to release the homolosophile now.
Confirming asset delivery.
I've lost them. Where's that? Oh, right, there we go.
Asset to be collected. Acknowledging asset collection request. Collecting asset. Picking up asset.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a homolocephaly to the park.
Right, let's just check on this. There's a little bit of cover at the back there, a little bit of cover over
Assets in the air.
there. I may need to do a bit more cover, to be honest. I'll tell you what I haven't done on any of those is put a gate in. Put one in on there,
We are pleased to welcome a homolocephaly to
and one there.
Asset has been collected.
Right, let's see how the Metrodons are doing. Seem nice and happy. That one's in the deep water. So yeah, they do swim. They're like mini spinosaurs.
The homolocephaly might seem unassuming, but that flat plate on its head isn't there for decoration. I've seen it used socially amongst the dinosaurs, but I've also seen it used defensively. Long story short, do not underestimate this animal.
Right, there's one in there somewhere, but I can't actually see it. Where are you? I'm just looking for a little bit of movement.
We are pleased to welcome a homolocephaly to the park.
No, we're going to have to cheat. There he is.
Asset has been collected.
There. Right, let's see how he's doing. Don't think he's found the grass leaf, the ground leaf yet.
Determine asset delivery.
Right, I'll give them a couple of minutes just to acclimatise themselves, and then I can make adjustments as and when.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Homo employee to the park.
Transit has commenced.
I'd love to know exactly what they use those domed crests for. I mean, it's always supposed it's for headbutting and stuff like that, but more than likely that's not the case.
Delivery complete.
Still hasn't found the ground leaf. Let's put a little bit more ground leaf over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Homo employee to the park.
He's still got all this area to explore yet,
Asset in
anyway.
transit.
Right, water's not going to be missing for him. He just hasn't found it. Can't really miss it, can you?
Asset transportation complete.
They're very difficult to spot. Huh. There's one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Homo employee to the park.
Right, everything's good. The only thing that isn't is the water, which they just haven't found. Because they just haven't gone up to it
Transporting
yet.
asset.
But once they get over this way a little bit, they'll find the water. And they will be fine. One more to go after this. So, let's have a look. I'm not going to build this down any further for the time being. Actually, I'll have to, otherwise people can't see them, can they? Right, I'll just bring the path down. Just to there for a minute. Right, so it was the ditch that was causing me problems last time when I was trying to do this lot, because I didn't want to ruin the ditch, because that's supposed to be the defensive area to stop these guys getting out. Just remind me of carnivorous parrots, really. Right, hopefully I should be able to release the other ones now. Yeah. Right, I'll release those ones up here.
Collecting asset. Pick up asset. Asset to be collected. Permanent asset delivered.
Right, so the Homelosophail should be happy now. Still hasn't found the water, but they will do.
Transportation underway.
They're just not heading far enough over this way. See, now they're getting closer to the water.
We are pleased to welcome a sticky mollusk to the park.
Transporting asset.
Right, I'm not going to worry about that too much, because they will find what they need. I just got to hope the environment that I've built will be somewhere near acceptable for the Stygimoloch.
Stygimoloch is a gentle giant most of the time, until they're spooked at least. In the wild, that sort of defensive reaction keeps them and their herd safe. So try not to hold it against them if it's our fences that are on the receiving end of a charging Stygi.
Right, so ground leaf is what he's going to want more than anything. They don't need a lot of water.
Commencing asset transit.
So they're probably going to have their territory being on the left-hand side of the river, while the Pachycephalosaurus is on the right-hand side of the river. So the big on the right-hand side and the smaller ones on the left-hand side. But 66%.
Asset has been transported.
67. Let's put some more ground leaf down here. little bit more along here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome Mr. Olive to the park.
Right, so he's not been anywhere down near this lot yet where he will definitely get enough of what he needs.
Asset transportation in progress.
But he's getting a bit brave and going over into the Pachycephalosaurus territory. But they'll all get on together, so...
Asset delivered.
So we'll leave them to get on with it for a little while. Right, now the next enclosure, which is going to be up here, is going to be the Dilophosaurs. Now their enclosure is going to need to be quite secure because obviously they're spitters, so we need to make sure that they're kept as far away from the guests as possible so that nobody can get spat upon. So I'm thinking of building onto the end of the raptor enclosures. So if we do the medium, put them straight on the edge of there.
Delivery has been completed.
It doesn't look straight, does it? Oh, it's not too bad, I suppose. It's a little bit off up this end, but it shouldn't be too bad. Right, so let's have a look what our Dilophosaurs need. There they are. Right, so they need cover, pasture, and wetland. Cover, pasture, and wetland. Okay. So that one should be the one from the film 2022. No, I don't like that. Let's darken them down a bit. That's not too bad. A little bit more colourful than the females. So I think we'll go with that. So I wonder how many of these we can actually make. 6.
Synthesis procedure
Transportation underway.
Okay, so again, it's 3 of each. Right. Let's think. I'm wondering about, just to make it look more secure, I wonder if I can put a ditch down there.
Transportation complete.
There, I should be able to make that nice and deep doing it that way. That was just a little test I was doing just to see if it would do the sort of thing that I want it to do.
Delivery complete.
Right, so nice big ditch there. It's very difficult to get this to smooth out right and keep the ditches. Damn, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Now, next thing I wanted to do along here was do another fence. A small electrified fence. I don't think this is going to look very good, to be honest. I might have to rethink this actually, because I'm not liking this. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to scrap that idea. And we're just going to go with a double fence. So I'll level that all back up again. I mean, it never worked when I tried it before on other enclosures, really. Right, so if I put in a viewing gallery, if I put that in there, then what I'm going to do so I'm going to build those out like that. So that sort of stops people getting too close, but they can still get a close-up view in there. But I do want the Dilophosaurus to have a sort of bit of mystery to him. So I'm going to put another viewing gallery around this side. And we'll do the same with the gates again, on the enclosures rather, and the fence. Right, so now no one can get too close to them. I'll put a double gate in. So now when you approach them, you know there's some kind of danger involved with these. So now let's adjust their territory a little bit. We can roughen it up. Because their environment is going to be... I'm going to try and get it so it looks something like you get in the films. So it's going to be very, very tree orientated, if you see what I mean. I think we'll have another small sort of river running through for them. Like so. Let's just smoothen that out. Right, then what I want is to remember what they actually required. So they want cover, they want pasture. Right, so let's pasture this up. And so look. Right. So is that all we got for pasture, really? Brushland is okay, but if I cover the whole thing in this, let's make that a bit bigger. Right, now the only problem with this one is probably not going to be able to not going to be able to make it enough pasture for them, so they're probably not going to be totally happy, because I'm looking more for the look of this one than the actual comfort of the animals. And unfortunately I can't use the type of trees that I really wanted in this one either. Let's see what that one's like. It's not too bad, I suppose. Now with these ones, they're going to be quite difficult to see. So I'm going to have to just chuck this in for a minute. And then figure out what we can do to make it a little bit more visible. I suppose we could put the feeders in. We put them closer to the inspection points. So when you're looking, you're actually seeing a lot of forest. I quite like that. And let's have a look at this one. That was not quite as mysterious looking, but let's just flatten that ground out a minute. That's better. Actually, what I think I might do, I might get rid of that one. And I'm going to put one of the taller ones in. Right, that's a bit annoying. I'm going to have to take those down for a minute. Right, now we can put the fences back in. There we go. So it's a decent viewing platform, but you're just going to have to take pot luck of whether you're going to actually see any dilos. So let's get them in.
Acknowledging asset collection request. Asset to be collected. Heading to collect the asset.
Right, so while we're doing that,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
we can start putting the paths on.
Asset being transported.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
Asset being transported.
Oh shit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I didn't do what I wanted
we
it
have
to.
added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
That's better.
Asset transportation complete.
Right. We got one in there. Water, plenty of. Pasture, plenty of. Oh, they needed some wetland, didn't they? So let's... I'll build them some wetland up over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
Transit has commenced.
Right, wetlands almost.
Delivery complete.
Yeah, right, wetlands good. We just need a little bit of pasture. And he should find that up in this direction. There we go. They've not found the prey yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
Asset transportation in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
Right, so it is releasing prey.
Transit has commenced.
And they do actually want prey, not meat. Right. What else did I say we were going to have a look at? I did want some Morris Intrepidus in there, but they're only small, so I'm not sure about them just now. Ceratosaurus. Wouldn't mind having some of them. We've had Allosaurus, so we got 6 of those. Albertosaurus. I mean, we've got the T-Rex, so we don't really need another Tyrannosaur. Majungasaurus. A Metriacanthosaurus. Let's have a look at the plant eaters and see what we haven't done in that. That's a hybrid which I'm trying to avoid. Dinoceras. We haven't got Dinoceras. I think we need to do some Dinoceras, don't we? So they want wetland, water, ground leaf, and fish. So let's make something for the Dinoceras then. Let's try and make them quite colourful, seeing as they're fully feathered. That's quite nice. I like that one. Also like that one as well. I think we'll go with that one because that's a bit more colourful. Yeah, right, so that's what we're going to go for. So we need wetland, water, and ground leaf.
Asset delivered.
Right, so let's see. Where are we going to put these? Could actually build those in this gap here, couldn't we? So if we do... I could bring the fence out of the
Delivery
rock
complete.
there. I'll just do a medium fence for them because I don't think they're going to be overly dangerous. I think I might actually just attach it to this
Ladies and
to this
gentlemen,
one.
we are pleased to welcome a Dilophosaurus to the park.
Transit has commenced.
Let's just see if I can run a path along here a minute before I do anything else. Right, we'll just stop that one at that point there.
Transportation complete.
That might be a little bit too oversized for the Dinokira, so I wonder if I can actually split that one in half and put two animals in there. Yeah, I think I can do the two animals in there, so we can bring that path around. Let's actually, let's just delete that part of it. See if I can match that as best as I can. And then that can go.
Asset has
That,
been
and
delivered.
let's do some trees around this area here. There we go. What enclosures that one there? Stegosaurs, that was it. There we go. Right, so just checking to see what amenities are nearby. Don't think there's a lot, so I think we might just run some down here, to be honest. So let's do small food. Right, I want that to snap on. Toggle angle snap. That's a small amenity. Let's do a drink one next to it. Put that shopping one in there. Now we better have a restroom there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, our restroom is now open to use for whenever nature calls.
And we better have an emergency shelter. Right, so that's ideal for there. Then we at the back of there we can just cover that up with loads of trees. And then here we can work on the Dinoceras. I'll tell you what I did forget to put in. I was going to put a viewing platform in here. Put that one in there, and then we put a low one in there.
Ladies
There
and
we
gentlemen,
go.
we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
Right, let's check out our Dinoceras. So we want 10% wetland, 38% ground leaf, 52% water. So they want pretty much more water than anything. Let's go water and wetland to start off with. So let's do a nice big pond for them. in the middle of there. We'll do a little bit of deep water. Let's go in for wetland. So 38% ground leaves, that's quite a lot. But let's do what they need. Right, it's a very basic setup for that one.
Icon.
So let's release them in and let's see how they like it.
Acknowledging asset collection request. Heading to collect the asset.
It's only 4. For some reason I thought there was 6 of them. Don't know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dino-Pyrus to the park.
So we've done a lot more in this episode than I was expecting to get done, to be honest. But to be fair, most of the areas that I've been building have been quite simple. There's not been much difficulty to them. I mean, there's been 2 swamps, 1 desert terrain. So it really wasn't that complicated. Do you know what? I think I am going to change that texture.
Dino-Pyrus to the park.
I don't like that texture. I think I'm going to send it back to just grass terrain. That's better.
The Dinocyrus is an impressively sized ornithomimosaurian, or ostrich dinosaur. And it certainly does bear a passing resemblance to ostriches, considering its beak, feathers, and long neck. But I would emphasize passing resemblance. I've certainly never seen an ostrich this size, or with arms like those.
Well, we got that one right straight off. Oh, we need a fish feeder in there. Forgot about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Dino-Pyrus to the park.
Transporting asset.
Right, so we pretty much got them right in the first attempt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a dino.
Delivery complete.
So how are my mysterious Dilophosaurus getting on? I'm never going to track him in there, am I? There we go, there's one. So they're missing a bit of wetland. Okay, let's
Asset has been
put a
delivered.
bit of wetland up here.
Delivery has been completed.
Right, that should be enough wetland for them now. Once they find that. Right, let's check if the Dinoceras are nice and happy. They're well happy. So, right, let's have a look at what we've achieved today then. So, we got the Dinoceras in here. They're happy. Dimetrodons in there. They're happy. We got Pachycephalosaurs, Homolosophal, and Stygimoloch in there. They're happy. And we got Dilophosaurs in here, which weren't 100% happy. Because they're still missing a little bit of wetland. So I could change a bit of water for wetland, and that should make them happy. There we go. So I didn't quite do what I wanted to do with that, but from this side it does. Because you look through here and it's just foreboding forest. Can't really see anything. And then from this one, you just get a view down over the swamp. But you can see them, there they are.
During most of your tour, the appropriate information will be automatically selected and displayed for you.
So they're happy as well. Right, so we need to think, what's our next move? We've got this paddock here. What are we going to put in here? So it has to be a herbivore. So let's have a look. Still haven't done dryosaurs yet, but they're only small, so I can't really put them in a big area on their own. I could put those in with the ornithomimids, really, couldn't I? We'll bear that one in. Iguanodons. I haven't got iguanodons. Yes, that's what we're doing. Right, let's see what they need. So they want wetland, water and pasture. And ground fruit. Right. Wetland, water and pasture. Let's see how we can colour these guys up. I like that pattern. It's a really nice pattern. I want them both to be striped. I don't want them blotchy. That's the problem. There's not really much choice, is there? That's the male, that's the female. Yeah, okay, we're going to go with that. It's not the best, but we'll live with it. Right, so just to remind myself, pasture, loads of wetland, bit of water, and pasture. So, 2 of each. Unfit. To get them on the treadmill then. Right. So, let's go over to our enclosure here. And the first thing we'll do is put the viewing gallery in here. And I might actually do a could do a dome in there, couldn't we? Right, so I need to bring a path along here. Good start.
gentlemen, we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
Right, we'll just get a gate in there. Actually, on this one, I want a classic gate. Right, so let's do the... We're going to do the wetland. But not that one. So we want it to be mostly wetland. We'll do some pasture up here. And then I think down here we'll do the water. They didn't need a lot. Looks a bit bland, so I think we need some... let's see if we can do some tool. Just chuck a load of these in. Let's have a look at some rocks. That's a big old rock. Right, let's see if we can find some fallen trees. Some common plants. So a couple of them. Don't even know what they are, just thought they'd look quite nice. Here we go. Just chuck a load in randomly. I think that's probably okay. Let's have a look, see how that looks from the viewing platform. That looks alright. So let's get them in and see what they think.
Collect an asset. Heading to collect the asset. En route to pick up the asset.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an iguanodon to the park.
Should get a pretty good view from in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an iguanodon to the park.
Asset in transit.
Alright, as soon as the first one's down, we can check the environment, make sure everything's good for them.
Big and stubborn, the iguanodon can be difficult to manage. Not that you shouldn't try, though. The rewards of having this incredible herbivore here outweigh any difficulty in caring for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an iguanodon to the park.
Right, let's get some ground fruit in for them.
Commencing asset transit.
It's a lot more wetland than they actually needed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an iguanodon to the park.
Asset delivery confirmed. Transportation underway.
That's definitely going to be enough. Without a doubt. Again, it's a flat terrain here because it's a marshland, swampland.
Asset transported.
100%, there we go. They are happy. Do you know, even though these environments are simplistic and quick to build, I do like them. They do have a bit of a primeval look to them. Or primordial look, whichever word you want to use. Let's see how our Dinoceras are doing. They're loving it. How many we got to go? So that's the last one going in.
Asset has been transported.
There we go, 4 iguanodons. So I think we've actually achieved quite a lot today. So we've got Dinoceras in there, iguanodons in there, dimetrodons in there, pachycephalosaurs, homolosophile and stygimoloch in there, and Dilophosaurus in there, and a funky bit of path that I forgot to delete. So we'll get rid of that now. There we go. And that's it. So at that point, I think we'll leave it for today. I don't think we put anything else in, did we? Nothing else I'm forgetting about, is there? What are they? Oh, Carnotaurus, yeah. Excellent. So I'll have a little think about the next one and think about what we want to do. We might even bring in a couple more of the Tyrannosaurs. I'm not sure. I mean, we got a lot of stuff in here actually, and we're sort of running out of good ideas for the actual animals themselves. I'm forgetting what we've got. Spinosaurs. So what I might do, I'm not sure whether I will do yet, but a lot of these ones I might actually get rid of them, replace them with younger animals, and actually start them breeding so they can self-sustain themselves. Same with the Tyrannosaurs. Might do it with the raptors as well. Giganotosaurus. Carnotaurus. And we'll just see how they get on. This sounds like a plan. What was that? That was Oviraptors, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think I'll probably put some Dryosaurs in here as well. And I think the rest of them are okay. Where's he gone? I can't see where he's gone now. There. Oh, sleeping, that's why. So yeah, we got most of the big attractions up and running. It's only the small little bits now. Allosaurs, there we go. This was the Ceratopsians. So I've got loads of different types of Ceratopsians all living together in there. Stegosaurs in there. Then that brings us right back to the entrance again. And that's our Hadrosaurs in there. And I think we got some Ornithomimids in there as well. Coelophysis and Compsognathus in there. What's in this one? Attenborosaurus. Oh, Dunkleosteus. So they're probably getting quite old now as well. Yeah. So yeah, without the breeding mechanics going on, they do tend to get elderly, and once they get elderly, I don't believe that they breed. So we might have to have a look at that and see if we can start changing something up on that. Put some nests in and Put a couple of young animals in there. Got a brachiosaur meeting going on there. Yeah, I can't think of any ideas at the moment, but we got all this area yet that we've got to cover. So we might have to have a little think about it and see what we can do, how we can change it. Maybe make some bigger environments for some of the more popular animals. Put some in with rides and that sort of stuff, which I didn't really want to do because I don't really like rides and that in a park like this. I think they look better if you're just giving them their natural looking environments. See Allosaurus again. Yeah, so we've been all the way around. Right, so okay, we will leave it at that point. Definitely done some good work with it today. Very happy with it. So if you want to join me for the next one, remember to like and subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. And don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this episode. And I will see you on the flip side. I'll catch you all later.